Okay, so what we've done so far is we have created a backstory for our character, or we're starting to create the backstory for our character. And we've done a few things. We found an inspirational image for our character that gave us kind of the thought behind our own brain scape that we're like, hey, this is exactly what I want to play. This imagery or whatever is going to help me create my backstory. And then we did a little bit of brainstorming, came up with a really simple concept about how the character that I'm creating right here is Tarv Longale, that he no longer lives amongst the dwarves of his birthplace, and that he blames himself for parts of his past. And then lastly, we created a timeline of events that led up to the point of his adventuring career. So Tarv is well on his way of being made, and now we're going to begin talking about research. So we're going to talk about research. This is probably the least boring topic, I guess, that I could say, that doesn't really involve a whole lot of pictures or outlines. Typically, what you want to do is you want to find 3 or 4 words that really tie to your character, and you want to say like dwarf bard concept, and then go from that, right? So the idea is that whatever you're creating, you're wanting to find some research that maybe other people have already done or found, or help you make your character better. With that being said, you may or may not find anything at all. You may find all kinds of content. I don't think a dwarf bard is that uncommon. And we're actually going to go ahead and just look it up real quick while I'm actually streaming. So dwarf bard concept, right? Okay, I did that. So right off the bat, Reddit pops up, right? Naturally, Reddit's going to always pop up. But it says character advice for dwarf bard. So we click on that. And let's see. Oh, wow, that's a huge portion here. Basically, it says, I'm working on a dwarven bard. I was hoping for a little advice for 3 aspects. The first is the effectiveness of losing strength instead of dex is my secondary stat. Musical instrument of use. And the third is beards. So it looks like just kind of their general outline is they want to know stat-wise what's affected, and they want to know what kind of musical instrument maybe a bard would use. I dig the bagpipes. That's just me, because I'm all about the bagpipes, because I'm Irish, Scottish descent anyways. But I naturally just love dwarves. It's just my favorite race to play as. It says drums on there, just different stuff. Anyways, and that's something else you could do besides just research. You can post in forums and things like that. There's tons of groups on Facebook that will give you advice you want, you don't want, and some things they'll just troll you. So this one person, Hink Rogue, says, a dwarven bard sounds like a great time. I imagine she won't be drawn back, fellow, since dwarves is generally portrayed as up close in combat, so the AC might be worth it. There's a few support spells that will be good if you are close to the other PCs, so if the party has a lot of casters, you might need to be able to tank some of that. Or they might be able to all up and close and personal. Then you don't want to stay back alone. I would have gone with the drums, a war drum, and use the combat maul as a drumstick to even more effect. And as for beards, ask the DM for the world standard. Oh yeah, so there's that debate about whether dwarven women have beards or not. I'm not even going to get into that. But you can see off the bat that people are offering advice. People are trying to help give strong advice. So looking down below, again, we see things at different websites. Dwarf Bards Rock, Inroads Ministries, Mountain Dwarf Bard of Lore, Giants in the Playground. Again, it's time and time again, you can see that there's tons of research here that you can do quick, easy, and maybe come up with some concepts that you weren't thinking of, or you didn't initially breathe your own idea. And I really think that, we live in the information age, right? We live in the age of technology. The information's there. The odds are you're probably not coming up with a completely new idea and someone's already done it, because, D&D and role-playing games have been around for many years now. And so for you to come up with a completely new concept is rare and very unusual. So there's going to be some people out there that are have done what you've done and probably have posted on the internet, because that's what people do. Again, so there's tons of Facebook forums. I mean, Reddit's a good place. There's all kinds of other places you can look. Instagram for art imagery, or maybe someone who's playing a dwarf bard currently and they're posting photos from their campaign. Maybe you could message them and be like, "Hey, I want to play a dwarf bard. The name's Tarv Longale. He has a haunted past, a little bit of a dark mystery to him. Doesn't really like talking about it and things of that nature, right? Real simple, easy concepts, but the research concept of this is not difficult. A simple Google research of 3 words, dwarf bard concept, yielded tons of content for me to look through, as if I wanted to create Tarv like fully on as a character and play him as a D&D game, or create him for a story. And I mean, because we get all our character tropes from games, and games get them from movies or books, and vice versa, right? I mean, we all have our fantasy background. I mean, we can go back to the Odyssey, back in Greek mythology, and all the way back. I mean, goodness, it all probably stemmed from religion and all that good crazy stuff, right? But mythology is what it is, and fantasy is derived from all of that stuff. So if you can't find it, let me know, because I'd like to help you make it. If you can come up with a completely new character concept, I would love to hear about it, and maybe I can help. But yeah, so I mean, the research really isn't too difficult to cover. I think just doing some super simple Google, asking questions, asking your DM, asking your fellow players what they think, is really important for your backstory. But hey, once again, this is Hobie Hill, Deep Dungeon Games. Thank you for watching.